Hey guys, welcome to LoveCast, the Boys Love podcast, where we talk about everything related to boys love. I'm your host Pixie, and with me are my co-hosts Alexa and Kayla.
Hey.
Hello. And with us today, we have the woman who makes this podcast run smoothly. I don't know what we did before we had her on the team. Our podcast assistant, Heather.
Hi!
Yay!
That's really nice.
It is so true. Like, seriously, how did we get anything done before?
We're so disorganized. I don't know what we were doing.
Winging it every single week.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm winging it.
We're all in it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a team effort,
So-
it really is.
So today we are doing our last episode of the season, and we are gonna do some predictions for 2022. And as ever, I am not prepared. So we're handing it over to Alexa to start us off.
Yeah, so I kind of just broke it down. It's somewhat broken down by country and more just like general themes that I think we will see changing throughout the next year or so in BL. So the first one I had on my list, taking it to Japan, I think that we might start seeing more accessible Japanese BLs in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Just based on even the past couple months alone between Keita Hatsukoi and My Beautiful Man. So Keita Hatsukoi just got picked up by both Viki and Netflix. And I think they just announced that it'll be coming to Viki on December 10th. But with My Beautiful Man, it had an established platform even before the series aired. So like Gaga Ulala picked it up beforehand.
Is doing the work. Like,
yeah,
they're
so
stepping. Oh my god, thank you.
I feel like they might be instrumental in helping more Japanese BLs become accessible, because they also are adding Man Who Defies the World of BL on their platform, which I think was on like WeTV or something before, but it's also
it was on Viki too.
Viki, okay. So, but yeah, I just think like these past two BLs that we've seen coming out of Japan, which are both coming at the end of the year, we're definitely seeing more of a conscious effort. Keita Hatsukoi kind of had the same thing as Cherry Magic, where it got picked up by a platform midway through once they saw how popular it was getting with international fans. But I feel like, especially with My Beautiful Man and seeing Gaga Ulala pick it up before it even started airing and having it have a platform right from the get-go, I feel like that could be a good sign. I know there was one that was recently announced, Kai X Yaku, which is supposed to premiere in January. So I'm very curious to see if that one will come out with a platform right from the get-go, and I feel like that'll really kind of set the tone for what we'll see from Japanese BLs. But I'm feeling positive that we'll start seeing more accessibility from them, from these past couple that we've been getting and the trend it's been having.
Yeah, and we do know there are like a couple of upcoming Japanese ones. So it's gonna be interesting. I really hope Gaga keeps pushing them onto their platform, because they have recently really made it worth it to have a subscription to them.
They're getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they've started picking up a lot of stuff, and kind of when you go on there, you start like discovering old stuff too that you wouldn't have watched otherwise. So
yeah, they're collecting quite a backlog of older queer shows and BLs, and I think they're also they've got some like Gaga originals happening. They're like which is really interesting too. It'd be really interesting. I haven't seen BL specific originals, but I've seen some movies that they've put their original tag to. So it'd be interesting if they then sort of put their hand in the game of like original BLs on their platform.
I think they're gonna do it if they get the opportunity. I think they're absolutely gonna do it.
they definitely have, like, they're doing a original GL series right now.
Is that
just Fragrance of the First Flower, from Taiwan. And I'm pretty sure that's a Gaga Ooh La La original. And I know they did, like, Papa and Daddy, I think, was a Gaga Ooh La La original and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't call Papa and Daddy a BL, but it's definitely...
but I think they'll definitely be, especially if they... the platform keeps growing, I feel like they'll be able to kind of dip more into doing their own original content. Definitely. But yeah, I definitely think they might be pretty instrumental in getting us some of the Japanese BLs, it seems. So, that was my first prediction.
I think, like, next season 2 of the podcast, we're probably going to talk a little bit more about the Japanese market, because I don't think everyone understands how hard it actually is to, like, get anything from Japan. That whole, like, network of how you need to do stuff in Japan, and how they really don't actually care about the international market normally. It's there's a lot to unpack, so
even just getting, you can, I guess there's a lot that you can watch illegally, but just getting it officially and watching it officially is super hard. Like, I know that I only was able to watch Given on Crunchyroll, and that was after like Googling like crazy to figure out how in the world can I find it. Everything else. I've
realized how much of their content, even beyond just BL, like their general and Japanese dramas, like I feel like 90% of them are fan subbed for people. Because, you know, and following the couple fan sub teams that were doing Keita Hatsukoi before it got picked up officially, a lot of them were like sharing and promoting other teams that were subbing other Japanese dramas and content. So I feel like most of the content that international fans get from Japan is fan subbed, or it comes to the platforms like way after it's already aired.
Yeah, the fan subbers are really keeping that international Japanese BL market alive. A lot of
gems in Japan that we haven't been able to watch because, like, it hasn't gotten proper publication. So there's a backlog, and they need to get it out there.
So fingers crossed, Gaga is on it for the backlog.
For us, Gaga.
And then we can see more. Even Netflix, if they can start picking up if they can see how popular the Japanese BLs are, or BLs in general, and they can start picking them up more.
And I really think, like, Japan BL, they don't have, like, a problem with taking on more heavier BLs that are more like explicit. And Gaga did bring one of those on the platform, so I'm
not prepared
to see more of them.
I was not prepared for that. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole other conversation to have, but holy crap.
I read the manga before I watched it. I mean, they did warn people.
No, fair. I may have not listened to the warnings or seen the warnings or... Yep, cool. That was an interesting one.
What's it called now? Dangerous drugs?
Dangerous.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Something sex and drugs or something.
Yeah.
There's danger in there drugs. Somewhere. Danger if you're going to watch it. Like, warning.
Warning.
So many warnings.
Psychologically 18 plus. And everything, it's very interesting. It's not like, it's not a porno. Right. It's
I would argue heavy. It's heading into soft porn, but it's a whole other thing.
The psychological aspects of it. That's what's interesting.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think I was just, if I watched it again, I would be able to focus on the story more. I was just shocked, and it carried through. But
factor there.
But no, definitely, it'd be really awesome if not just Gaga but other streaming platforms could pick up Japanese BLs, and so we could even see a bit of a difference in BLs, because like we all know, each country has their own kind of style in BL, and it'd be really cool to see more Japanese shows out there. Next topic. I think we're going down your list, Alexa.
Oh, I'm just going through my whole list first. Okay.
My list is just shows.
Okay. So my next thing that I had on my list, and I feel like this is kind of something that we've talked about before and we've seen slowly happening between 2020 and 2021. But I was looking at that list of shows from BL Update, like all of the Thai BLs that are, as of right now, supposed to happen in 2022. And I feel like, looking at a lot of them and like knowing somewhat what some of their plots are, and just based on like the titles and knowing like the basic stories behind some of them, like there's definitely a lot less uni based stuff happening. And I feel like we've obviously seen that slowly happening between like the past 2 or so years, but you know, we always have the classic uni BLs. But I was like going through that list and I was like, a lot of them, a lot more than I expected, are outside of the university setting. Or if they have a university setting, one, it's not engineering, and it's not like the whole focal point of the show. So I feel like they've seen some successful shows kind of step away from the blueprint of what they know works, which is the engineering and the university, and now they're kind of being more willing to step into other trends. I mean, I feel like we'll definitely have trends. Like, it seems like they're on a chef kick right now with BL and stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely supernatural, a lot of supernatural coming. But I'm like, I will take other waves and other kicks if it's not engineering. So yeah, I feel like that's definitely something I've noticed going through the upcoming lists.
I mean, like, 2 of my most anticipated is like Between Us and Not Me, and there's both like stories about university students, but the stories aren't like
based around them like being an engineer or something like that.
It's not like a driving point of the plot.
Yeah, I agree
100%. Yeah,
Missed Off Gun. Oh.
Yeah, Not Me is like my top, like most anticipated. I've been waiting almost a year. I need that show.
Yeah, it's been a long wait for a lot of the GMMTV shows, since honestly a lot of the ones that they announced at the end of last year, because they had to go on that strict COVID lockdown for a couple months. But yeah, I'm excited for Not Me. I think I've been watching all of like the filming and behind the scenes stuff we've been getting, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I'll take the mafia, I'll take the chefs, I will take the ghosts, whatever you want to throw at me. I'm
travel.
Just excited.
The time travel! The historical time travel!
Oh yeah, there's one about time travel.
I have a point about I Feel You Linger in the Air on my list. So
okay.
But yeah, I'm just like excited to not be like super focused on engineers, even the ones that are in university setting. Like, at least they seem to be switching it up a little bit. So I feel like that's something all BL fans.
In like, aren't they technically students? Some of them.
Maybe
student age, I believe, but I believe it, like, we don't see anyone go to school in Kinporsche.
Yeah,
like they just hang out at bars, war with warring mafia groups. What are they? Is it just mafia?
It's
I
a
don't
mafia
know
family.
About the mafia.
Yeah,
so
mafia
this is
families.
Like, mafia families.
Mafia family. Yeah, and
so like they war with
Yeah, I know. Porsche.
Him
is Oppo. Porsche is Oppo. Oppo is Porsche. Okay, he works in a bar, and then he gets picked up because he defends Ken in a fight. If they're going by the old trailer, that's what happens. I know. I think I saw in the novel that Porsche is supposed to be still in school, but I don't know how much they'll focus on that in the series. I know that there was like kind of an uproar because people found out Barcode is only 17, and which I guess is the age that his character is supposed to be. But, you know, I mean, I don't know what their character's relationship is in the show, Kim and Porsche.
They're being...
names are...
Yeah, they're like
names
they're just
really
the exact same names as their brothers. Or
Kim
whatever.
and
Yeah.
Portia
So
and
confusing.
Kin and Porsche. It's like
yeah, it's very confusing. But yeah,
I
they're
don't-
supposed to be a ship, but I'm not sure how much they'll lean on this now that they've changed.
Or it's just going to be like
the
a
partners. Yeah.
Because I think like the Kin Porsche, the old Kin Porsche was more like trying to be more like My Engineer with like the couples. Like they were trying
Like,
to evenly
more time for each
time it
pairing
out,
kind of
but
thing.
now
Yeah.
it's very heavily like leaned towards
The
Kin
main
and
two.
Porsche.
Yeah.
Which I actually kind of like. Like, I like that it's not going to be so many couples that you're just like, everyone's like they don't have enough time to tell
not everyone
everyone's
needs
story.
to be a main couple.
Well, no, not everyone. Not
Yeah.
every single person in an ensemble cast needs to be a main couple.
There's like 20 men in that cast.
See,
like
disagrees. There are. There's like 20
I
people.
don't really disagree. I just think like for this story, for how this story is set up in the book and everything, I think it made more sense with how they did the casting before. And yeah, but I don't know what their plans are for the new one, so
Yeah.
I'll
I
hold
feel
my
like
judgment.
They definitely seem to be focusing on just on the content they've released so far. Kin and Porsche and what are their names? Pete and Vegas? Is that
Oh yeah.
Pete and which is Bible and Build's pairing? Because those are the only two couples that have gotten any teasers focused on them so far. So I feel like maybe Kim and Porsche will kind of be more supporting, it seems. Which I don't know.
Do you know what I don't like about this? I feel like they're going back to like the tried and true how you're supposed to do a BL, because it's like the main couple, the side couple, and the side couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's boring. But they know it's gonna work, so they're doing it. Like, My Engineer was doing something like no one else was doing. And they made it work.
Somewhat. Except that no one liked the main couple in the show.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Story,
Everyone's like
like-
Ram King.
Dude, have you read the books? They're
No.
so bad.
And I don't plan
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, fair. The Kim Porsche talk actually got me thinking. Something that I noticed is that the spice factor of upcoming BLs seem to be getting a little bit
Going
more skin chippy, and it's going up.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I feel about that trend.
There's
Like,
a lot of like bed friends with
Ooh,
benefits,
Jesus.
sex friends type shows that are supposed to come out in
Yeah.
2022,
And like,
which isn't my personal cup of tea, but yeah, I definitely feel like
yeah,
they're trying
Like-
to go spicy.
I like the spice at times, but same conversation that you guys had with Don't Say No is that there's time and place, and you don't need
For
to
everything.
see people having sex every
Yeah.
single
I
episode.
do feel like they are going for a Fujo bait. They are trying to baiting people in, because they've seen like the ones that get the most views are the kissing and the skinship. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I do appreciate them going a little more of the mature route, because it's
Yeah.
realistic. Like when you're in a relationship, it's not like you're never gonna touch that person. Like it's
Just show
Mhm.
affection.
lust
Like,
isn't realistic.
Yeah.
In a grown-up relationship. Okay, if you have like a young couple story, then the fluff is reasonable. But if you have like Manner of Death or
Yeah.
Kin Porsche, or stories that are more mature or violent, it will look really out of place not to have that skinship and not to have
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I agree.
I think there's skinship, and then there's like unnecessary sex scenes just for the point of adding in sex scenes, which is like what we started seeing with Don't Say No.
Don't Say No.
Because like I think you're right, when you get a pairing like Ken and Porsche and people and Manner of Death, like obviously the affection that they have is going to be more intense, and the scenes that they do have are going to be more intense and sex driven and stuff like that, but they don't necessarily still need to be overdone. Like I think that Manner of Death did a good job of like obviously their scenes were very intense, and Max and Tool have kind of a reputation for having scenes like that, but it wasn't something that they did every episode, and every time they kissed, it didn't lead to an unnecessary sex scene type thing, which is kind of what we saw happen in Don't Say No. So I feel like
it was like every time they touched, it's like, yep, let's have sex
they had
now.
to have
That's
sex.
what it means.
Yeah, and that's what it's like.
Touch, it's
that's
happening.
also not super realistic in an adult relationship. So it's like, you know, like
time.
Yeah,
I think they need to find that base of realism.
Yeah.
If they were trying to tell a story about a couple that had a lot of sex, they could have just like implied it. They didn't have to show it every time.
Yeah.
Fish. They should just do a lot of fish scenes.
Plant to the fish. Plant to the cactus. It's fine. You can do it. It's like building tension is so important, and often the tension, is more gratifying than the actual
scene itself.
Scene.
Exactly.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So, but I think like Fahrenheit did it really well in season 1 with the like building of tension. Like it was a little over the top with the the kissing and stuff, but it wasn't as bad as like if you see Don't Say No now, like the comparison, like, dude, what is Mame doing?
Well, the last episode that you had to pay for, or like I haven't seen it yet, but all I can see on my Twitter feed is just like it's just sex scenes of them.
Yeah,
like,
and it makes it so weird when they're not showing like the second couple doing heavy, like they are basically fluffing up the second couple, and then the main couple is so heavy it makes no sense for the story.
Oh, that's so true.
If you're gonna have like a heavy, mature like going on, like at least be consistent. You can't like have one couple like having sex every time they touch each other, and then the other couple is like, okay, dead cat, let's have sex once.
Not Pop Jar. Too soon.
Too soon.
Soon. Oh, Dr. Sweetie, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that there should be a dynamic within a show. Like, not every single couple should be fluff, and not every single couple should be like heavy on the sex scenes. But I do think that there should be more of a balance, and that it should make more. It should make more sense.
Yeah. I think it making sense is the biggest thing, and I think that's what a lot of shows miss out on when they're just trying to ramp up the spice for the sake of getting views, is that a lot of the times it does not make sense. And so I'm hoping, you know, I mean, like, obviously if you're doing a show about like friends with benefits or sex friends, like sex is essential to the plot.
Yeah.
But it's also like sometimes it can still be so weird to watch in the way that they film stuff like that.
True.
We don't really like I draw the line at like doing like a soft porn. Like when they were doing the Sex Friend, the series that got canceled. Yeah. We don't.
No, it's back on Bed Friends, isn't it?
Is it back
on?
No,
Bed Friends?
No, it's not the same.
Oh my god,
two different shows.
I thought they were the same.
Oh my god, it's not the same one.
Two different shows.
They hired like literal like.
Okay, I'm googling after this. I need to figure this out.
Sex Friends one.
I'm not googling this.
Like the pictures they were putting out were just like men in underwear. Like
it was, okay.
And the book it's based on was like it was like the author wrote that book just to practice sex writing.
Which
I mean,
there's a market for that. There's a time and place.
But
it's not live action.
Yeah.
It's boys love, not boys sex.
Or like soft erotica or whatever. Like,
not boys softcore porn.
Oh my god, that's so wrong.
It's a very different genre.
Yeah, there's a reason it got cancelled. Are we moving on?
Moving on from the spice, I just wanted to say another thing that I noticed is that we're getting some more GL couples in BLs.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so excited about it.
Like, yes. Finally.
What's it called? Secret Crush on You, I think, is the one that has Becky and Freen.
Yeah.
And then there's
with Saint as a producer.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
I think it's gonna
there's
be
a couple of I noticed as I was doing my research, sorry, we'll get back to the GL couples because we need to talk about that. But something I noticed during my research was that quite a few BL actors are stepping up as producers, screenwriters, pre-production, post-production. Like, we're seeing then they're getting really involved in the industry, which is really good to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you think about a lot of them probably do go to school for like theater production type things.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's cool to see them actually be able to put that kind of stuff into use and see them work behind the scenes. Like, I know Fluke Tirapot, who was in season 1 of Sodas, is the screenwriter for My Ride.
Yes.
And he's done a lot of different like indie film and acting type things. So it'll be cool to kind of see them actually get to step up and do like a larger scale project, I guess.
Definitely.
So yeah, and I mean, I know Mean produced or directed The Yearbook, and that recently kind of took off in Thailand and stuff like that. So it's cool to see them kind of like stepping into other roles in the industry.
It'd be really good. I'm hoping to see more of it. Like, that's something I would really like to see, or I just personally like to see in my media, is people having, I guess, wearing more than one hat and having quite a bit of control over the media that they're starring in.
Yeah, I agree.
I really enjoy it. Sorry, back to the GL couples.
But yeah, there's
it's really good to see like the GL coming more into like BL. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Like, I know we've talked about this before, but like there was no reason for them to not like give Manao a GL couple.
Please.
Like they had it right there. Like it was right
on
there.
A silver platter. They just had to pick it up.
And they like
they
just
still mess
a
it up.
random dude in there, and it was like, oh
yeah, it's
just
really
do it.
frustrating.
Yeah,
But
I don't know if you guys watched her episode of 7 Project, but it was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely trash. It was so bad. I was very disappointed in that GL.
And they baited it so much with like Sammy and I don't know what the other actress's name is, but
it's the same actress. She was
from Until We Meet Again.
Until We Meet Again.
Paneer?
Yes, thank you.
Paneer.
Paneer. Yeah.
Paneer.
I think is that, I'm not sure how you say it, but I think that might be it.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
They baited it so much, and then you watch the actual episode, and it was just a whole hot mess, and it was so disappointing to see.
Yeah,
it was honestly
It took them
very
so
sensitive.
long to come out with this, and couldn't they have just done it properly? I mean,
like, I wonder if they're using the side couple, like they're using that as like practice to write a full GL, even though it's literally just change the BL
voice,
exactly, like exactly.
It's just a romance.
But like, I'm wondering if they're using it as like practice, or if they're using it to test the waters for GL in Thailand.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
What I mean, if you're gonna do GL, then at least do it good. Like, if you're gonna have like people show interest for something, if it's bad, people are not gonna watch it. So it's not a good like perimeter to measure from.
I think I noticed that in both with Secret Crush on You, which has Becky and Freen, and then there's the other one that I don't know how to pronounce, Nilandun. That's been that it's been delayed, but that one was also supposed to have a GL side couple, and both of those side couples also have their own shows confirmed. So the GL couple in Nilandun has its own show, and Becky and Freen both have their own show coming. So I feel like kind of they might be using it as putting them in these other series first as a way to kind of garner interest for the couple and get people interested and attached to them, because they already know that they're going to be giving them their own program and their own show. And I guess they kind of want to build that base for it, because unfortunately Girls Love doesn't have the same audience that Boys Love has right now. So I feel like that might be part of why they're, you know, putting them in as a side couple in another show first and then going into giving them their own shows. But I don't know.
Yeah, but I think like this mistrust in like Girls Love not having the audience is completely wrong, because every time they come out with a proper Girls Love, it does get the numbers.
Like we've seen that in other media types as well. Like if it's not the norm, and in BL boys are the norm, if it's not the norm, they test the waters in other things and then decide to put the money behind it. Like we've seen it in other things, and I think it's just the same in BL. Like BL and GL are kind of like hand in hand, and I think that using BL to kind of test GL couples and GL stories and having a whole show under a GL main couple, I think that's kind of, what they're doing. They're just testing the waters.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same way a lot of BL couples, like, especially under GMMTV, like, I'm thinking of Dark Blue Kiss, how they started out as a side couple in shows beforehand, and then they got popular, and obviously they stole the show from the main couples in those series, and then ended up getting their own series. So I feel like, I mean, we know there's a market for GL, and we know that we want to watch it, but I think because there's never been, especially at least in Thailand, like a full-on GL series that I can think of that they can use as a blueprint to show, like GL does bring in the numbers on a large scale, then I feel like they have to kind of use putting them in other stories first to, like you said, kind of test the waters, if that makes sense. So, like, I hope that they do take off and the pairings kind of gain that popularity, and the two original shows that they do have coming go well, so that we can start seeing more from them.
Definitely. I think prediction-wise, if they do go well, we're going to see more GL. Like,
fingers crossed.
I do hope that they do something properly for Sammy, because, I mean, they had such an opportunity, because she, like, people have been asking for her to be in a GL for such a long time. People were going to watch that show no matter what. And they...
I mean, and the pairing with, I don't know, Panair is right there too, because people ship them in Until We Meet Again, and then they had them together in Seven Project, even though they butchered that. But like, I feel like they have a fandom behind them that wants to see them like in an actual well done project together. And I just don't. I mean, maybe they need to see other shows do it first before they invest in it. But I would love to see it. It's right there, but
even like I'd like to see a Why Destiny GL style. I want to see many couples, many GL couples, different stories, all in one, 2 episodes each. Give it to me. Sorry, I got excited. Like, I would like to see that.
I would be here for it.
That would be a good test as well, wouldn't it? Like, testing couples, chemistry, stories. Like, give us a Why Destiny GL version. Please and thank you.
Copy Bangkok, if you're watching this.
Yeah,
that could be your next project.
I'll write you an email. I'll give you some suggestions.
And I'm also here for giving the girls in the industry more of a chance, because the boys are all over the place.
Dude, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, I was thinking about the female actresses under GMMTV versus the male actors under GMMTV. Like, they get pairings, they get merch, they get all these shows that they host on YouTube and stuff like that.
Safe House.
Safe House. They have like Armshare, Off Gun Fun Night. Like they have all this different stuff, and I'm like, what do the female actresses under GMMTV get? Like, most of them end up playing support.
They get hate. Poor things.
Literally. Or they put them in all like the soapy type dramas and stuff like that. And I would just love to see more for the women in the Thai industry overall. But like, I was specifically thinking about GMMTV a while ago, and I was just getting really angry about it.
Oh, so agree. Hard agree.
Hey guys, it's Kayla, 1/3 of LoveCast, the BL podcast. With the holidays coming up, I wanted to give you a reminder that we now have a merch shop. We have a few designs that are all inspired by the BL genre. If you or someone you know shares our love for boys love, it's not too late to grab something from the shop. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers, even tote bags. Whether you want to be subtle or out there, we have an option for everyone, and sizing is very inclusive. Right now, I'm wearing our best seller in the pink variant. I also have the white variant of our pink milk shirt. The link will be in the description, so make sure to check it out. And back to the episode.
Next point.
My next point, still kind of, going back to, you had mentioned time traveling, I feel you linger in the air, which is the time traveling one, and it is supposed to be the first ever historical Thai BL. I think that if it does well, kind of what we were talking about, testing the waters, we will start seeing a slew of historical BLs. And I know we get them from, like, we get a lot of Chinese bromances, which are historical, and actually, I don't know if any other countries have really done historical. I feel like mostly China does, like, the bromance BL.
Yeah. In the BL sphere, I would say it's just China. But in the
there's not really
sphere,
any other countries that have brought in, like, a historical... and I know it's hard because...
Sorry, Nobleman Rue, I just popped into my brain.
From Korean BLs, like the
Nobleman Rue.
Yeah.
Actually, they have a couple... They have a couple on their 2022. I think there's like one or two coming from Korea that are historical BLs on their
That's exciting.
list.
They're better.
Yeah. I don't know which ones they are off the top of my head, but I know there's definitely one I think is called like Tinted or something. There's definitely one or two. Yeah.
Sorry, I got very excited because that's got Junhee from Ace.
Yes. Yes.
Who's not a main character, but, like...
He's in the show. He's in the show, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to start... I hope... I mean, I know there's a lot of hype around it, and when WeTV was announcing it, they did a big thing of making an announcement. It was the first ever historical Thai BL. So I hope that it does well, because I would love to see kind of that exploration.
Yeah.
I know that in queer media overall, historical queer movies and shows tend to be really sad and depressing.
I didn't even
obviously,
think of
you
that.
have to take the times and the historical aspect into it, and a lot of the times the relationships have to be secretive and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of the times they end up getting sad endings. So that's something to take into perspective, but I would like to see it because obviously queer people existed in history, so it'd be cool to see. As much as history wants to say they were just friends, it would be really cool to see it happen. So I'm hoping that I Feel You Linger in the Air will kind of be the starting point for that aspect of BL.
One of the staples of BL is that it's more of like a world where it's not so harsh.
There's an element of fantasy in the romance.
Certain aspects of like homophobia don't always necessarily exist. Yeah, that's true. So if they do them, they might go that they feel like they might take that more fantastical aspect. And I mean, you're thinking about time traveling. There's going to be fantasy there to begin with, so I'm sure there's a way to make it have a happy ending. But just. I would just look forward to seeing more history, and I mean, it's another new perspective, new setting to bring into BL. That's kind of something completely different.
I find it really interesting when they focus on showing how it would have been if the world wasn't as homophobic as it is. Because it's sort of giving you an image of like, this is how we could live. This is how the world could be if you weren't a complete asshole.
In a dream reality.
If you just didn't want to see the world burn, this is what it could be.
That's what we could be having.
Like, I'm hoping that all these random one-off different shows will bring in more like different writers to the industry, and then they will be able to advocate for different perspectives and different genres within the genre, because I'm sick of the same thing in BL. And one of the reasons why I enjoyed BL was, when I first got into it, was because it was so different from what I was watching. But now it's just, well, I wouldn't say now, but a year or two ago, it was literally the exact same thing over and over and over and over. And so I'm hoping that this kind of like forced pause on the industry has kind of forced them to look back and think, like, how can we move the industry forward and have it not be so stale? So I'm really hoping that means, like, there's more writers, there's more variety, more like different perspectives, so we're not getting the same writers writing the same type of story over and over and over again.
Yeah, and something that's high quality, and like they're not just pushing it out there to earn money. Like, they're actually caring about the quality of the show.
Yeah. In saying that, there are a lot of Thai BLs coming out in 2022.
There's no way all of them are going to be
there's no way they're not all going to be good. But I am hoping that a larger chunk definitely have thought about, like, there's money in the production, or at least there's like effort in the production.
Yeah, I can like I can live with the low production if they actually have like the heart in it. They've actually
good writing
into the story,
care about what they're putting on the screen. And you can do a lot with a low budget. Like I remember like calculating love. I think it's called. Like, that was so cute, and obviously they had a really low budget, but they did it so well. I
agree. I think that is kind of something that comes with the globalization of... You keep smacking yourself at
an angle, at a weird angle, so I can get some like natural light going on. And this is not a natural tilt for me, so I keep wiping my elbow on my desk. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But I was going to say something that does come with that globalization of boys love and bringing a larger audience in and more people from around the world is I feel like there are more expectations that are going to be had about the type of stories that are coming onto the screen. When BL, like we've talked about before, when BL was more niche, we just watched everything that they gave us because, we got a couple, like 3 or 4 BL shows a year. And I feel like production companies are going to start realizing with us getting multiple shows in a month, fans aren't going to watch everything. So they're going to have to start upping the quality and putting more effort into news stories if they want to keep the new audience that has come into boys love over the past like 2 years. I feel like
I feel like they realized that in the Philippines because they got like a huge chunk of BLs out, and like 90% were low quality and just like complete money grab. But now it's
slowed down a lot.
It's slowed down a lot.
Yeah. And there's some good little gems coming out of the Philippines and BL.
Yeah. Game Boys is doing so
Even like, what was that? It was basically a Blued app commercial where they were like that was sweet. That was a nice little gem of a BL. And like technically I think it was a commercial BL, but like
sometimes commercials can be good. Look at Ingredients, the series. Like
True, that's very true. But yeah, there are some gems, and like we've got big ones like Game Boys and is it Boys Lockdown 2? What's that now called?
Yeah, it's BL. It's called like Love Team.
Yeah,
their
Love Team.
Teaser is coming out, I think, next week, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, so. Like we've got those happening.
And we can mention prediction that Gaia Sublicula Season 2 is not happening.
I feel like that's not.
I don't think. At
this point, our Paolo episode is out, so I mean, if you watch that episode, the way he talked about the series, I think
it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not
and rightfully so. It's totally understandable. I hope that what I was saying is, I hope we can see Anne and Paolo work together again in a different project because they are both under Cornerstone Entertainment together. So I think, that company is very aware of their power as a pairing, and obviously the way Paolo talked, we know that they're still very good friends. So
yeah,
I would love to see them in like something different and new together. But yeah, I think it's totally
I'd love to see them in like character reversed BL.
Oh my god, yeah, I would love to see that.
That would be fun.
But yeah, that's a wishful thinking prediction for 2022. Ian and Paolo, new project together. But yeah, and I mean, it sucks because obviously we all love GSP here, but I can completely understand why they want to step away from that project and just put it to rest.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if they put out a season 2 and it wasn't, the story just didn't get to the quality of the first season, it would kind of ruin, like,
the magic.
Yeah,
it would.
I mean, I think it's a good idea that they're not doing season 2 at all, and I completely respect Paolo for making that decision. I mean, it was his decision to make, so
agreed.
But it did sound like he was planning on doing more with Ian.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Fingers crossed. We shall see.
That'll be exciting.
It's got a lot planned for next year.
On the topic of season 2s, actually, I noticed that there are a lot of season 2s coming out in 2022, which, like...
Season 2s in 2022.
Cute. But that's, like, season 2s of BLs are a very new type of thing.
Yeah. They're so hit or miss.
Like...
Historically, I don't think I've ever enjoyed a season 2 of a series. Yeah. Outside of Thai BL. Yeah. Thai BL
has never done it good. But I am interested in knowing how the Korean ones are going to be. Because they haven't, like, come out with, like, a really bad BL yet, and I feel
not one
like
that we want to like light on fire. Not like trash BL. Sorry, that was
pretty low, but you know.
And I just feel like they are giving the season 2s the respect they need. They aren't just doing it for the money. It's actually passion into it.
It's like an extension of the story.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like they're actually extending the story instead of just hoping that having the couples on the screen is enough.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, let's
especially
hope no, like,
with Color Rush
aspects.
Yeah. Color Rush had story that could be expanded on in season 2. Like, I think they always had room for season 2, and it seems like they are going to be playing into a lot of those things that they left open-ended. Now, obviously, that one kind of has the impact of one of the main actors not returning to the show, so that is going to impact that dynamic. But at least in terms of plot, they ended season 1 with a lot of plot left to be told, so there was always space for a season 2. To My Star could have easily just been a 1-season show, but I think that they have the benefit of bringing back the 2 main actors and the director, who can kind of bring back that same magic that was in season 1. I was reading up on the stuff on their press conference, and that they are working to make it, like, expand on the characters more and make it so that season 2 isn't just boring, unnecessary conflict. So I think that, fingers crossed, that they will both bring some good stuff to the table.
For Color Rush, I'm really happy actually that they didn't just recast his
character.
I do appreciate them rewriting the story and just bringing in like a new love
even
interest,
if
because that's a realistic thing too. Like, you, even if you have like a first love, like you date, you can fall in love with other people. It's fine. So I like that. I'm interesting to see To My Star. I really hope it's not like a cheating thing they are gonna go
Fingers
for.
crossed. That would be terrible, because that is really like the main plot drive of most second seasons for Thai BL, and that's why I will never like
K-dramas.
Sometimes
K-dramas. Do they usually have cheating plots in them? Is that
K-dramas do season 2s though?
Most K-dramas do not yet, or if they get a second season, a lot of the times the series are standalone. So, for example, like there was a series called Romantic Doctor that was really popular. They gave it a second season, brought in 2 new actors for the main characters. So they kind of do them as standalone things where each season has its own plot arc, and there may be like Easter eggs to the original seasons, but they aren't necessarily interconnected. But yeah, cheating is not a big thing in
for
K-dramas.
No. Yeah, that gives me hope.
Fingers crossed.
I'm very excited for the Korean BL takeover of 2022.
I just hope, I feel like and this was also one of my things on my list, I feel like the last couple Korean BLs that we've gotten, like My Sweet Dear and The Tasty Florida, have felt kind of flat.
True.
And so I don't know if they're starting to suffer because of the 8-episode, 15-minute format or what, but I know that there is a lot on the plate for 2022, and I'm going to be really upset if a lot of them are like end up being super underwhelming.
Yeah.
So I know some of them do have.
That's fair. Sorry?
I think it is like why they fell flat is that they're not like they're not coming with something exciting and new, and that's what we've kind of sort of started expecting from the Korean BLs, that they're exciting and new, and the storyline of the recent ones haven't been exciting enough.
Much.
Like it's we've seen it before, kind of thing. Like it's boring. Okay?
I feel like My Sweet Dear relied solely on Jang Wi-soo being the main character.
Yeah, and they keep reusing the actors, and it's just like it's fucking with my head. I'm sorry. I can't see the same actors with different
roles.
But they do that in Thai BL so much.
But it's not. It doesn't happen that often, and it's not like that. Like one guy has had like 3 different pairings, and his new pair has had like 4 different pairings, and then they're a pair, and I'm just like seeing all the other guys that been with, and I'm just like so confused.
I feel
so
like
what is happening? Reusing the actors, it's the not reusing the pairings as they go through the shows. Is that what?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that would help. But like I don't mind pairings like unpairing themselves. but for some reason
divorcing.
like I was watching Nobleman Rue, and I was just watching these men, and I'm just like, you're not supposed to be there.
That one was interesting. I feel like
but like the little cutie, I can't remember his name.
From Mr. Hart.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he
his name
didn't
is
fit in.
He didn't, but I love him.
Yeah, I love him too, but he didn't fit in. It was so wrong.
But I love him.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Maybe it just feels like a lot, and like we're seeing them a lot because the casts really only consist of like maybe 4 people, and then the series itself is super short.
So short.
Yeah, that's true.
There's not a lot of time between when you see them in one production to when you see them in another one, so it's like you can't erase the other character from your mind.
Yeah. It's like Korean BLs are like fixing the ensemble cast that we aren't the biggest fans of, but it's like in a very confusing way. That's like 4.
You need the palate cleanser before you get the new show. I mean, that might be
a lot of the 2022 Korean BLs. A lot of them are based on some pretty popular webtoons like Semantic Error and Cherry Blossoms After Winter. So I hope from like a writing standpoint that'll at least help with the plots not feeling so flat, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they are kind of on that cusp of they want to crank out a lot because they realize that they found their market for it, versus
especially with idols.
The idol actors, versus when you crank out too many and none of them have anything distinguishing about them, then that's where you get like the last couple that kind of feel like did we really even watch anything in these past 8 episodes?
My 2 hours or 1.5 hours is just like, it's just a black black hole in my brain, in my memory. What happened? I'm missing an hour and a half.
I feel like
it's
a little bit about miscasting too, because I just feel like in the recent one, the actors don't really fit the roles they're put into. They don't feel at home in the role, and I feel it feels like they're just using them because they're the only ones willing to do a BL.
I actually liked the pairing from the 2 main guys from the Tasty Florida. I thought they had
a cute little chemistry going.
Yeah, and I think that it helped because I was researching. They're from the same company, so I feel like they probably already had like that previous connection with each other and knew each other and were probably pretty comfortable working together. So them I liked. I didn't really remember anyone else from that show minus those 2. Like everyone else felt pretty forgettable to me, but I definitely agree.
Guy.
That guy, I don't remember his.
I'm jealous of how he looked. Like if I could,
he was a very
pretty
person. Yes.
Please.
But yeah, I definitely feel like with My Sweet Dear, I feel like the chemistry between those 2 actors, I don't know, it just didn't feel like there was anything there. And that's why I feel like they just relied on casting Jang Wi-soo in another BL and having that carry them through, and it just didn't really work.
And he's a good actor. It's not on that. Like, he's really
good
character. The actors didn't really mesh together well as a couple.
They need to do the Thai acting workshops. If they don't already do versions of that. But like, they need the chemistry workshops.
Yeah.
I think those are really helpful, honestly. And I mean, they don't always work, but I think they're helpful.
Definitely. One thing I do think we're going to see more of in Korean BL are the idol actors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, a lot more. Like, we get them in web, which you guys have spoken about in the episode with...
A lot of idol actors.
Paroma?
Yeah.
Paroma, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paroma. But that's what you spoke about in that episode, is that in the past, we've seen web dramas as the way that idols get into acting, and I think that definitely, and the same BLs are going to be the kind of the stepping stone into acting that idols are going to use. So there's definitely going to, and like, also idols are pretty, and like they like to cast really attractive people in BLs. Go figure.
Yeah.
So it's I think we're definitely going to see more idols, and even more big name idols.
Yeah,
like we've got Ace, we've got Hyuk.
That's a big thing.
We've got Sohan from like former
K&K, former
K&K or Canuck member. Remember, it sounds like anyway, I cannot pronounce it properly at all.
K&K,
K&K, like we're going to see bigger. I think we're going to see bigger named idols in BLs as Korean BL gets more popular.
And I think that also kind of might speak to I don't know if necessarily normalization is the right word, but it's not uncommon to see a lot of big idols in regular Korean web drama, so starting to see more bigger Korean idol names in BLs might kind of speak to BLs kind of sliding more into just the general mainstream Korean drama genre, web drama genre, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah,
because that you become more of a regular Korean web drama, and then maybe one day we'll have a full length Korean. I put that on my wishful thinking. I don't know if I ever think that'll happen. I don't think it's
full length
happen quite in 2022, but it's on my wishful thinking prediction.
I feel like it maybe 2023. If 2022 is like the year of Korean BL, 2023 will totally be a full length.
I have a question,
I think,
and it has nothing to do with Korean dramas.
Moving on.
It made me
like get past this.
I need to say it, or else I'll forget it. It came into my head while you guys were talking. Have we gotten any like Chinese BLs lately?
Not lately. Addicted is like
Are
the
there
only
any
BL I
ones
can think
slated?
of.
Like, I know there are.
Like the bromance style?
Like Word of Honor?
Yeah.
There is a couple, I just saw something about it, but there are a couple.
There are a couple coming out, but I can't remember what they're called.
I don't know if they're going to happen now because
Yeah.
China has kind of cracked down. But there was one, there was one that I was really excited for that
like the husky thing. Oh, God, I can't
What's the
remember
husky
the
one?
I remember there was a husky in it. There's a white husky or something in the title. I think it was supposed to come out, but it hasn't come out yet.
There was one, I'm completely blanking on what it was called. It has something like light in the title, and I remember all of the posters were super pretty, and they were like based in around, it was like a winter backdrop, and it had an actor from another non-BL Chinese BL that I had watched that I was really excited about, and now I cannot remember what it was called. But
I'm
yeah,
not gonna
I
get
feel
any
like
help there. That's
I'm trying to. I can't remember the hetero drama that I saw him in. So that's how it's going for me right now.
And his white something. Why doesn't
I feel like this is the first time I've heard of this.
The husky and his white cat Shizun. They renamed it to Immortality. It was supposed to come out like forever.
See, if Immortality, I would have recognized that right away.
Yeah, it's the novel title. I was
Melody. She was over
she
there
heard
2
cat.
seconds ago.
Like, excuse me, you're talking about animals, so I'm here.
Yeah, Immortality. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I found the one that I was looking at. It was called Chasing the Light. And it was scheduled, I think it was supposed to come out like December of this year. But yeah, I don't know if we'll see any of the scheduled Chinese romance dramas anytime soon.
It's bad because like they are getting us, like the novels are getting like official English translations and on sale. You can get them. I bought all of the ones from what's the author's name? Mo something.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't know what the name is.
Yeah.
But I remember everyone freaked out when they announced that all of their novels were getting English translations.
So it's exciting, like they're becoming more available for everyone. Like the Untamed, the book that Untamed is based on is getting the English translation official.
Nice.
So it's exciting that this is happening, but at the same time, the production of, or at least showing of Chinese BLs have stopped. And it's probably because things are going down in China.
Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of touched before on the political situation there and the crackdown that they were having on a lot of their media, and certain depictions in their media. So I don't know if that'll change anytime soon, if they'll kind of lift some of those restrictions again. But yeah, I think a lot of things will just kind of be sitting in purgatory for the time being.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Speaking of things that we would like to see, like, happening, or at least maybe not what we'd like to see, but things that we think will definitely happen in 2022. I think they're definitely going to have a Don't Say No season 2. We're going back to Thailand. But I think there's definitely going to be a Don't Say No season 2. It's happening. They're going to make money off of it. Like, Leon Pop,
I agree, and I don't want it.
Will scream. But yeah, it's happening.
That's, I mean, from what we saw in the special episode, which, spoiler alert, they basically, like, Leon and Pop didn't get to meet each other at all in the special episode. They're definitely gonna have something. So I don't know if the second season will focus on them, or if they'll spin off from Don't Say No, what will happen there, but there's absolutely going to be Leon and Pop focus content. I have no doubt that they are going to go for that.
Mm-hmm. Even if it's like a special, couple of special episodes.
Pixie's
maybe not
like,
a full
please.
season, but I think there will be a full season.
I mean,
and you know what? I will watch it because I'm bitter and I want to see them have their happy ending.
Like, I'm saying, it's going to be
it'll
money
be
grab.
bad, but I will watch it.
I'll give them the watch. I'll give them the views.
That's the problem, Alexa. There are fans like you.
Bad.
Stop it. I was gonna say, haven't she learned anything from all these season 2s she's been doing? Love by Chance, Valentine. Like, dude,
nope.
It's so bad. Can you just stop? But no, because Alexa is out here watching everything.
She's like, yep, give it to me.
It's all my fault. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, literally, I don't understand it because I've never felt that connection to any character or pairing Mame has put out there before, but she got me with them, and because of that,
she looked into your soul and gave
I will
you
have to give them. I will have to see them through to their happy ending, and I know it's going to be bad. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Pixie. I wanted to be better.
Like season 5 of Don't Say No, and it's still like 5
Mayon and
cats
Pob's
have
like
died,
grandchildren are falling in love. She's like, yes, I'm invested in the whole storyline, the whole family tree.
Oh no.
So yeah. So I think that's definitely going to happen in 2022 at some point.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then I'm hoping that Summer Days, the Singapore show.
Singapore.
I don't know how to say that. The show from
correct.
Singapore. I'm hoping that that's a 2022 show if they get all the funding.
I hope they can. I donated the campaign, and I know their most recent update was like, or not the most recent one, but the one before the most recent one. They were like, as of right now, we'd be able to produce like 2 episodes. So I'm hoping.
Come on, number 3.
Yeah. I mean, there's still like, I think like a month left of the campaign or 20 days or something, but I'm hoping they will at least be able to bring something together. But I'm really excited about the content itself. So,
and the fact it's going to be in English, English. Interesting.
Yeah,
very, very interesting
to see.
I'm
not too familiar with like Singapore
it's going to be in English.
Okay, sorry. That makes me curious because like one of the reasons why shows are good is because in their native language is because it's easier to express yourself in your native language. And easier.
Have you seen the trailer for it though?
No.
It's pretty like they're expressive.
Yeah. Okay.
You say so. No. But I get what you're saying, Pixie. 100%. I do agree. I think that Summer Days might do it well.
Well, I think just doing a quick Google search here, English is one of the official languages of Singapore.
Okay.
So
That's
English. It's actually the main language used in Singapore. Actually, reading here.
Then it's different. Then it's different.
So there's like 4 official languages, but English is the main.
Because I was going to say like, sorry.
You're a mess. It's fine.
I'm always a mess. What's new? I was going to say that when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, everyone's fluent in English. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought I had that in my brain somewhere from something, but I wasn't entirely sure. But yeah, I think it's one of those countries that has a lot of different languages, but English is the
I mean, if that's the case, then it's fine. It's, like if it's the main obviously
they'll be able to actually express themselves properly.
Yeah. I'm just imagining, like, if they tried to release, like, a Thai BL in full English or something like that. I'm thinking of, like, the Sat Choke episode of Why Destiny or something.
Oh, my God.
You went there, Alexa.
Listen, Job, I love you. We're buddies, you know that.
He
but
was the cutest.
He's so cute, but it was definitely very off-putting, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I liked it. Am I controversial? I really liked it. I like the changing of it. Like
that much.
Yeah. Like,
there were times that it did bring me out of the story.
Pure English, that would be something.
Yeah.
But the way they interchanged it, I think it made sense.
I think his explanation helped a lot of him saying that, like you said, it was easier to express, like, when they were trying to express certain feelings, it was easier for them to just kind of say them in English. But I think not knowing that and just kind of going in and watching the episode, I was just kind of like, oh, this is happening. Okay. But I don't know. It wasn't terrible, but it was off-putting for me, I would say, when I first watched it.
I'll say that. Yeah. It was unexpected. I was not expecting it, but I really enjoyed it. And I think it made, like, for an interesting aspect of the episode. And, yeah, just made it different,
I agree with that.
Which is good. And that's it for our episode this week. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify or whichever podcasting platform you're listening through, and share the episode with your BL-loving friends. And if you'd like to help support the podcast and help us to continue creating and releasing episodes, you can join our Patreon, where you'll receive exclusive access to our Discord server, guest announcements early, extra clips that didn't make it to the final episodes, and more. Or you can send us a tip on coffee if you're unable to commit to monthly support. Any help is greatly appreciated. So we're taking a Christmas break, and we'll be back for season 2 on the 4th of January with a lot of new and exciting content. We'll be, of course, still active on our social media and Discord. And we just want to wish everyone a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. And see you for season 2.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me. Bye.